I'm truly rare, and I hate saying it, but bro, like for so many years, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I've been misunderstood. Um, to the point where it's like, man, even daily in conversations, uh, I know being misunderstood in the back of my head, so I try to tailor the conversation and give a little gem, so like it's not like that. But bro, it never gets there. So like I've been misunderstood, and I believe that that is just part of who I am.
Who is Meech? Meech the actor, Meech the football player, Meech the coach, Meech the artist, Meech the musician. I just want to say I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here, and it's nice to see you. It's nice
Hey,
to see
already, man,
you.
already. It's been a long time, but this is where it all started. At. I
Yeah.
think I believe this is Warsaw is the city where we started rocking. Came across each other like in the previous years due to football and all that. But I think 2018 was it 2018 or 2017?
When I came out to Hungary.
Yeah, and then we had came out here for like you was throwing a party at Ritual. Or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. 2018.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2018.
2018.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like during that time. But you was playing with me that year as well.
Yeah, you asked me to come out. Yeah,
Yeah,
you asked me
yeah.
to come out to
So we just
2018.
came out here to visit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
yeah. That was cool. Being in Hungary for the first time, I was still living in Warsaw, so it was a cool dynamic going back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
back and forth. But it was a great year. That was a fortunate but unfortunate season.
Right, right.
We lost in the championship like that, but that was fun.
Went undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated and then lost in the championship, but
Yeah.
it was a good time. And then
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know, but my success in Japan was due to you putting that good word in for me. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I always appreciated you for that.
Yeah.
And so like, what's going on with you right now? What's happening with you right now?
Man, right now, man, I'm in a transition. It's a weird mode for me because football has been a part of my life since I was young, since I was like yay high.
When did you start playing?
Man, I started playing when I was 7 or 8, something like that. But I never got a chance to play with my age group. I had from the very beginning I had played up. I was playing with the 12-year-olds and shit. I was so horrible that the Pop Warner team didn't want me, right? And I had to play for my brother's team.
Which was the older
Yeah,
team?
we was the older team.
So it was a blessing in disguise.
It was a blessing in disguise, man. Got me tougher, man. I was playing against them 12-year-olds and they was murdering me. I swear, I remember, dude. Just get out of here, little nigga. Man, it was crazy.
So tell people where are you from? Like, where are you from in the USA?
Originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, when I'm out here in Europe, I will mention that I'm from Milwaukee. But when I see people talking about, what's that? I just say, hey, it's Chicago. It's north of Chicago.
Right.
But yeah, born and raised in Milwaukee, man. Mom and pops and them from the south. So people always says that Milwaukee has an accent. I don't notice it, but other people say it. So
It's like I would say it's Midwest, and you always heard like Midwest twang, like a Midwest, whatever the case may be. There's something Southern in it, but still something. I mean, I'm from the East Coast, so we speak probably more like a more.
I heard the East Coast.
Yeah. But there's something different from the Midwest, the way that you speak in the Midwest. It's soft. It has like a twang, a southern twang. So I can see what people mean by that.
I know Chicago. They have that accent. You can hear more.
Yeah.
The ka.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's just fun.
Who's that? She's a Chicago rapper, really popular, and she speaks like that. She's always like something like that. She's real pop. She's like an OG rapper. I can't remember her name, but when you said those endings, that's how she speaks, like to the T.
Yeah.
So she's born in Chicago. But Kanye West, he has that kind of has that accent, kind of has that way of being cool. So you came from Milwaukee. How was the transition from high school to college? from college to the pros. A lot of people don't know you had a stint in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
How was that experience? And then from the NFL to Europe ultimately.
Man, I grew up, I wasn't running around in the streets, but like we said, a hood guy, a hood dude. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up in a hood, and I grew up not even thinking about college. You know, did I know I was good? Especially in football, I played sports, basketball. I was a three-sport athlete. Um, but like it just never dawned on me until I got that first letter, and I was like, oh shit, I'm, maybe I am going to college. And I started thinking about it, but bro, it wasn't something that was big on my mind for some reason. Like when I got those letters, I was like, I guess I'm going to college then. And that's what it was. That's it. I didn't think about what I wanted to be in, in college, what I wanted to study. So for me, it's kind of that was a weird feeling for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I just let all my coaches like, hey, y'all want me to go here? All right, I'm go here. That's how it was. I went to my visit. I was supposed to be there all weekend. I went there for the Friday, and I left the next day because I wanted to play in the basketball game. I didn't have
High
to.
school.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like for me, man, I was really an avatar. Like people just, hey, you want to do this, do that. But to answer your question, man, like the transition from high school to college, that was a shocker, a little shocker because man, you see all these movies, right? Like I was in high school, I was on the straight and forward path. You know what I mean, I was a 3.9, 4.0 student. Just I had two B's in my whole high school career. I was into everything. I was doing theater and all this other stuff. And then I went to Northwestern, where it's a prestigious academic school.
Right.
And I was just at a standpoint in my life where I was like, hey, do I stay straight and forward, or do I kind of get the college experience? And that what my college experience was about. Just experiencing it, seeing what I've seen on TV, because I hadn't done anything. Like, I in college in high school I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't do any of these things. So when I got to college, it kind of turned me out.
Really?
Yeah. Like I was just trying to live the college life in there. Northwestern, you were not going to get it to the full extent
Because of the football.
And also because of the school, right?
Okay.
It's a private school. We only had about 12,000 students.
Okay.
Compared to a state school where they have 20,000, 28,000, 30,000, 40,000 plus. That's what it was for me, man. So, but I'm still through all that. My GPA, I still managed to graduate with a 2.5 GPA at the school after not really focusing on it. And that's me not even putting my all in it.
You're not even applying yourself.
Not even applying myself.
Yeah. It's funny when you say that you weren't thinking about going to school to play football and you end up playing football. Because one of the things that really fascinates me about guys in the NFL, for example, a lot of them say, yeah, I wasn't thinking about playing football, never really had this aspiration, but I just was good enough and I kind of just like went step by step by step by step. If that's the case, what were you thinking about doing when you were growing up?
Bro,
I mean, because and sorry about that. Like in that space too, you end up at Northwestern.
Yeah.
What a school to end up at. You know what I'm saying? With you kind of just like, I'm doing well in high school, but I don't really have any aspirations to do anything. What was the mindset in high school, even though you were kicking ass in school and kicking ass in sports?
Man, just being a cool person, being like I was popular amongst the, amongst my peers, and I was just kicking it, man. Like I didn't. I mean, obviously, I think it has to come from the parenting, right? You know what I'm saying? I had both of my parents in my life. It's a blessing. I'm thankful and grateful for that. But at the same time, I didn't get the guidance from them. You know what I mean? My guidance came from the coaches and maybe some of my peers that I looked up to that was a little bit older. So like, if you don't have that, then like, yeah, my mom and my dad didn't talk to me about no college until that first letter came, and they still didn't talk to me about decision making of going there and all that. So like, if it wasn't that important to them, like this is just me in hindsight, in retrospect, looking at it. If it wasn't that important to them, then it's not gonna be that important to me as well, right? So like, it was nonchalant for me. I was just doing it. You know, part of it was that I wanted to be a little bit different from my brother. You know what I mean? Who growing up and you know, kind of took a different path.
Okay.
Man, you know, I still think about this to this day, and my memories of that time is very faint because it wasn't important to me. I went to college because that's what I felt like I was supposed to do. Was it really my aspiration? I can't really say no. When I was in college, I was there. I was just there. I was going through the motions.
Right.
Um, and you know, I think part of it is about is my character. Um, you know, like I'm an entrepreneur at heart, but I can be a great employee, right? So like all those different things, I gotta try to balance. I find that balance, but college, college was fun, but it wasn't the best experience, but it was fun. You know, the football stuff. You know, there's some things that happen in football that's starting to come out to light right now, as far as like the hazing and things like that.
That's right. I heard about that.
Yeah, you know, and this is one thing I would say about the hazing thing. Like, when you're in it, you don't think about it like that. You know, you don't think about the effects that it can have on you in long term. You know, you don't think about those things because like it's a part of the culture, right? It's a part of rites of passage for young ball players or young athletes. So like it's built into the culture, but like man, that stuff really does affect someone.
Were you in that? Were you at the school during that period of time that they're investigating now?
Yeah, I mean, but bro, like, you know, without really going into it so much, like, hazing is it's a cultural problem. Like that stuff goes on in every school. You know what I mean? Some people are affected more by it than others. But I would say that whatever was going on there during the time I was there was there prior to that, prior to me coming there. That culture was built in there prior to any prior to me, you know, attending the school and everything. So like, it's passed down, right? So it's a much deeper problem. It's not just from when we was there. It happened
before you even got there. Yeah. So they're dealing with it, trying to nip it in the bud right now. Yeah, with this new age culture, with the climate, I'm sure all of that stuff is, as you see with P. Diddy and all these people doing these things behind closed doors, you know, it's coming to light. People are starting to shed light on it, which is good, I'd say.
It's the age of Aquarius.
Yes. Yeah, they keep talking about that. I gotta dig into what that means a little bit more.
I dived into it back like when it came in, when they ushered in.
Yeah.
2022, 2023. Yeah. The age of Aquarius is basically just saying that, like what you said, like the things are starting to come to light. You're going to start to, people are going to start to tell their truth.
Or start waking up more of it.
And coincidentally, we're here right now.
Trying to speak my truth, yeah. Right. That's what's up. So like, you had your experience at Northwestern. It was a successful experience. What takes you to the next step? Because as you've already explained, your intention, football, school was like, but then you get to the next level after that. So it's like, you're really riding that wave.
Yeah, so man, you know, I had got the opportunity with the NFL. I had a contract with the Carolina Panthers. My agent fucked that over, trying to get more money and all this other stuff, and they was just like, all right, we're going to go in the other direction. Then I got the opportunity with the Bears. I was in camp with the Bears. Didn't make the team. Had I had a little bit more guidance, a little bit more like an OG to actually show me, because you think that you know what it takes to be that top tier winner, right? You think you have it, but it takes someone who actually been through it to actually be able to tell you like, oh yeah, you're on the right path or you're not, or you have to do more. So like, with me, I went into that situation because I felt like that's what I was supposed to have done. Again, right? You know what I'm saying? I never really aspired to be an NFL player. That's just something I feel like, hey, I've been playing this game my whole life, right? That's what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? They say I was supposed to go to the league. That's the only way out, right? And man, and that's the thing. I felt like a failure when I didn't make it past that level, right? Because I felt like my whole family was depending on that. Depending on me to get us to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I never aspired to do it, and maybe that's the reason why I wasn't there. And it goes on to talk about, or for me, it's starting to come out right now. But I was always more than an athlete, right? So I always spread my talent off across different things, and maybe that's the reason why I didn't really. You know what I mean? Because like even to this day, like football has been my ticket, has been a blessing for me to be able to travel and do the things that I've done, meet the people I've met, and open up a lot of doors. And I was able to share my network and extend my network to certain people. So football has been beautiful, but man, I never thought that I would be out here, doing these things. Travel to all the different countries, you know what I mean? So man, it's definitely a blessing, and but it's been a long time coming, man.
I bet.
It's a long time.
How has the transition from the USA to Europe, playing football in Europe, playing football in Japan, coaching at all the levels, head coach, DC, position coaches, how's that experience been for you, like as a whole? Obviously, we're not going to take it year by year, team by team, but as a whole, and kind of like a 2-point question to kind of like transition into like the more juicy part. You being an artist at heart. We can rewind it a little bit, but we can still keep it in the same present. Like you being an artist, a rapper, a songwriter, a singer. How has that version of Meech evolved over the years, and how has that version of Meech been able to coincide with the football that still is a part of your life right now?
Man, it's a challenge. It's a challenge because I'm very passionate when it comes to the football thing, man. Like, passion, you can feel it when I'm teaching. You can feel it, and I think it's just like the coaching thing for me is just more about teaching. It's teaching. I can get the same feeling from just being a teacher in the classroom. It's just obviously football is it's my forte.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the feeling I get. That's the thing that's enjoyable for me as far as coaching goes. But if I can't express myself creatively through the arts, whether it's through like theater, music, graphic art, all those different things, then Meech becomes a very dull boy, man, and that's when I get out of character. I may be moody, I may be angry, and things like that. So like I always try to find that balance. I've always done music, whether it's like in the public eye or privately. I've always done it, and that's how I know that that I have something there. You know what I mean? That I need to explore a little bit more, whether it's on the front end or in the back end. Like on writing or ghost writing for somebody else, or whether it's just the creative direction. I just feel like for me, football could have been a lot bigger in my life as far as like more, what I'm trying to say, more beneficial monetary wise. But
Mm-hmm.
I think if I was able to express myself creatively that way. Right? What I mean by that is like when at Northwestern, like they put us in a box where you had to play a certain way, right? I had to play like a certain demographic, right? A certain type of person, which I wasn't. I'm athletic. I have a lot more different things. I wasn't. I was taught to keep that athleticism in the box and just do things like this, right? So like, so when I come out here to Europe and I play and I got that freedom, I was going crazy.
Right.
Going crazy, like, we can pull out, I'll send you some clips, like, but I believe my prime was like 2017, 2018, 2016, 2017, 18, around that time, and I was just doing amazing shit, and it was because I was able to express myself creatively on the field.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying, hey, all this, man, I'm telling you, it was just fun. The game slowed down, and that's when the shit got fun for me. And I believe if I was like that in college, we'll be having this conversation probably somewhere
in a mansion or something.
somewhere super legit.
Got you. So that's interesting that you say expression through football, because I do remember you be making plays, you be doing like the cha and stuff like that. Why do you think coaches in the States and even coaches here, like, why do you think the culture of football, I'm going to only speak for football because that's the sport that we play, tries to stymie the creative part of your body, when ultimately, when you start to be more creative or feel more creative, whether it's learning how to learn to play or philosophy or concept, that's when you're going to play better because you're at more of a relax. Why do they try to stymie that creative part of somebody?
Man, they don't know. Right? I think as a coach, you're going to teach someone based off of your own experience, whether it's your personal experience or some experience through someone else. Right? So if you aren't athletic or you're not used to making all these different plays, then how can you organically teach that to someone else? Right? You don't know how. You never done it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was the thing with me in college. I had a coach, All-American, Coach Fitzgerald. He was an All-American coach, but didn't have that opportunity in the league because he didn't have the athleticism. Had everything else, just didn't have the athleticism to keep up with those guys in the league. And that's the way I was taught. I was taught not to dive for plays. My first time diving for a play was 2009. When I seen that, I was like, "Oh, you can do that?" Oh man, I took off after that. I took off like 2010. I was balling out there in Spain. Man, 2011 I was in Switzerland. 2012 I spent a year in India, and since we still going, 2013 I was back in France. 2014 in Poland, 2015 Poland, 2016 Poland, and from 2016 all the way to 2019, I played 3 seasons a year. So like in 4 years, I played 9 seasons. 9 seasons in 4 years.
Back to back.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
When I did that, the first time I had back-to-back season was when I came to Meech Eaton. Then you brought me to Japan. Yeah. Then I went back to Meech Eaton. Then went back to Japan. Yeah, so I think. Yeah.
You double up the season, and now
it's fun.
And when I think about that all the time, and I'm like, damn, man, I made it. Just imagine if I would have just left those for a year, I could still be playing right now.
It's true. That's true.
The only reason why I ain't playing right now is because I got a hella wear and tear, bro.
Yeah. And
it's like, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? The experience is worth it. But at the same time, the money not. And that's the reason why I'm transitioning. Bro, if you gonna come out here and play football or do anything football wise, and you think you're gonna get rich off of it, it's not gonna happen, right? If it wasn't for me and my boy Deontay, if we didn't start a business in 2013 after leaving India, if we didn't start a business and fill the void and exploited some of the things that they were missing out here in Europe and especially in the football world, and open those doors, like I don't think I would be out here this long.
Right.
It's just having that backbone of having that money coming in, from the YouTube, sportstakeoff.com on YouTube. Got that's our coaching platform. We got a lot of coaching videos on there. Some over 1 million views. Definitely the channel has definitely over 1 million views for sure. Just those different things that help supplement and bring more money in, and was able to do more. But outside of that, man, like let's talk about the coaching thing, right? Because we talked about the playing part, but the coaching thing, man, like I thought it was a little bit different because for players you have a cap of how much you can make out here, right? There's an anomaly for certain players. I know some players out here who's gotten $50K out in Europe. I know just in international football, I know, obviously you was in Japan, you already know the numbers out there. We had close friends that making $75K. You got guys who's making $100K, depending on who you are, depending on the team. So don't get me wrong, you can make a decent living because like in Europe I didn't make that much money, but when I went to Japan, when I was in Japan, you know what I'm saying, I was getting that yen. I was 2.5 million there if you want to go into that shit. But so you can make money out there, man. It just depends on how you do it and where you do it, and how you bring it all together. But the coaching thing, man, like I'm almost like done retiring. Like I'm about to retire from coaching.
You about to just say finish the football in Europe as a whole?
I mean, at least for the moment. Just because like man, like just like as a player you have a cap on you right here.
Right.
You have a cap as a coach as well. Don't get me wrong, with the new league that's came out with the European League of Football. Some coaches with those credentials, they're getting starting to make some plays and they starting to ask what and get what they want. But for certain coaches, man, who took a different route, no matter what you do, if you took an unorthodox route, meaning you didn't go through the ranks of college, you didn't do the GA thing, and that's why I say it's a fraternity, man. Because if I'm sitting here as a coach and I went through all that stuff, I had to do all that to get to the point where I'm at, and then I see this young, creative young coach that's coming in very passionate about it, making waves, doing all the right things, right? But just because he wasn't GA or he didn't go through those ranks, now his knowledge can't be up to par because he didn't do that. Right. And I just think that's I understand it, but I think that fraternity, like the way like we fraternize certain things, I just feel like it's kind of unfortunate. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
And don't you think, I mean, I kind of have this sentiment because I had experience last season when I was with Enthroners, a team in the ELF. There was a moment where there was a discussion, it was quite a big discussion, and my stance on coaching in Europe versus coaching in the USA is that it's a totally different world. And I believe, my stance on it, my take on it, I really believe if you came up as a player in Europe, you kind of set the standard, you set the foundation for this new league, European League of Football, Euro Bowl, or whatever the case may be. If we're finished at playing, right, and we spent all this time here, just like if you were in the USA and you play college football, you play in the NFL, after you're done playing, you should have opportunity there to coach. Here, it's a little bit different.
Right.
I think players who have made it a part of their life to be here because it's such a sacrifice should be looked at as those initial options to be coaching people out here because it's a different culture, it's a different way of life, it's a different way of football ultimately. I mean, it's not different, but it's just a different way. You know?
mean, it is though. It's like when you go from league to league, from level to level, they have their style of play. Yeah. Right. So in the NFL, you have your style of play. They have that style. You know, 12 personnel tight end
Yeah,
sets,
yeah.
real heavy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a style of play. So all those coaches who've been into that culture, that space, they understand that very well.
Right.
Right. So hey,
That's fine.
right. So when somebody gets into that spot, they have to learn that. But
Mm-hmm.
for someone who's been out here in Europe, I've been to, I don't know, 15 plus different countries where I lived and coached and helped these guys. I've seen different scopes of athletes. I've seen it all. So and there's a different. It's a different game.
It's a different game.
Like
And a different approach too that you have to keep in mind.
Yeah, a different approach. You know, I've seen many coaches that came out here who greatest of coaches out there in America, but came out here and can win.
Right.
Right. And look, and this is what I would say too with the coaching too. Doesn't matter who the coach is. If you don't have the guys, like teaching comes into play where you can get these guys to compete. But if you don't have the guys, you're not gonna win. Period. I had a coach with Leipzig Kings. You know, he was in the league. That first year, our defense was horrible. Right. He leaves and goes to Ryan Fire, and they win the championship. So what I'm saying is, it's not the scheme so much. It's not even the coach. It's really just the guys.
Right. Can they go perform? Can they go execute it?
Right. It's the guys at the end of the day, man.
Right.
So, I had got, the time was up for me to leave, and when I was DC with the Panthers my first year, right? I was defensive coordinator there, and I still believe that I have one of the best defenses there. Like as far as statistically, you can look at it like our defense was better when I was there, statistically. Last year I was with DC with the Leipzig Kings. Had some guys you can see we was competing in the first half, competing with teams. Some teams got us, but man, you can't really. If you just don't have the guys like that in the right spots, it's just tough.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do was compete, and we still grew as a team. We still did everything we could. So, but man, like when it comes down to like the coaching thing, man, I'm kind of over it.
Right, I feel you. Real quick before we switch gears, at Leipzig, you guys went through a really unfortunate situation where the team had to cancel and forfeit the rest of the season due to. Media's always going to say something. Media's always going to say this. There's going to be that story, this story. Like, from your experience, and obviously you don't have to get into the nitty gritty, what was that experience like? And I'm sure it must have been a crazy experience, finishing the season in the middle of the season.
I mean, that shit's done now, so I can talk much shit I want to talk about. Man, look, at the end of the day, like, things happen. So, for the people that don't know, I was coaching in Leipzig. Right, and this shit went bankrupt. They ran out of money. They was like, no, we can't pay you no more, right? But at the end of the day, man, look, if you have any type of common sense, if you have any type of savviness to you when in business and things like that, then you understand that a bankruptcy just don't creep up on you, right? Somebody knows something. Somebody, like, it just don't come up to you, right? So, like, during the season, for people that think that it just dropped in on us, it's not like that. So, it's above my pay grade. Like, I don't can control the things that I can control, but, like, hey, if somebody wants to, move on into a different direction, then, like, they have every right to do it.
Right. So, that's the football side of Meech. What's happening with your music? You did a few projects in the past few years, specifically here in Poland, before moving back to Germany, right, with Leipzig. Yeah. How has the music side developed or evolved, as we alluded to earlier? And what are your future plans with the music or acting as well? You just did a show. I saw you in
a commercial.
Oh, you did a commercial. Yeah.
I mean, I've always been doing that, man. I've been in theater in high school. Yeah. I've been doing extra work and I've done TV shows just throughout the years. I think my most recent TV show I did was International House Hunters.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that. Did other commercials, Toyota and all different types. I need to put a reel together.
For sure.
But yeah, man, that's the other side. that people don't get to see. All right, you know what I mean? Like they don't get to see the creative side, the funny Meech. You know what I mean? Like just earlier today we was talking about stand up comedy,
Yeah.
right? And it's an art, and I can't disrespect the art. That's the reason. That's the only reason I didn't do the joke, man.
And it's so crazy because like I feel like that could be your style. How you, because every time I remember you telling a joke or doing some type of,
I would do it just like that.
You would say nah, and as you're saying no, you're actually getting ready to hit you with the punchline. So
but you know what though? Like that's what I'm saying though. Like
it's so dope.
The last 2 years I wasn't really myself, man. Why? Because I didn't have the time to express myself creatively. I was putting in 14-hour days. So for anybody who think that Meech is bullshitting and all this stuff like with football, if you don't know me, man, I was putting in 15-hour days. So you don't think that I can get better? I ain't gonna get better in doing that, bro. I'm learning, always learning. So look, I was very passionate about it. I took it serious, but I just didn't have enough time to do the stuff that made me creatively. So now, what I would normally do like that situation, segue into the joke, I gotta get myself back.
Got you.
Yeah, I gotta get my character back, man. My personality, like it's all that stuff still being there. You know, a lot of things. Changed. Like me and my girl broke up after dating for 3 years. You know, and I think that situation in Leipzig and unfortunate situations here in Poland as well. You know, kind of aided in the ultimate demise of that relationship. I just, these are things that I couldn't control.
Right.
Man. So
Would you say that you were kind of in a transition, not professionally, but maybe more of like personally, coming back from a, let's say a more dynamic, multifunctional lifestyle, going to Leipzig where it's just like kind of tunnel vision. I'm coaching, spending 15 hours. Your girl situation kind of going out to you now coming back to that creative space, trying to get that light back, trying to get that character back.
I mean, it's coming, man. It's coming. I'm definitely one of the things because I wasn't gonna come back to Europe, right? But one of the reasons why I came back is because one, I felt obligated to help Deontay coach here with the team just because he came out to Hungary, and I just felt like that's what I needed to do.
So you're with the Warsaw Eagles now?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
DC?
Yeah, DC.
Okay, cool.
So that was one of the reasons, but the main reason was because I knew that this other football teams like is demanding. I would have to put in 12-hour days, 14-hour days. I knew here it wasn't super demanding in that light, and would give me time to actually express myself, find that thing back. So now I just recorded a song last week.
Okay.
All right, I'm on my singing shit more. It's a blessing that the last 2 years I didn't release anything because I really made strides in my voice. I made strides in the content, what I talk about, what I've been experiencing. Because like the music that I made in the past was just some some music just to say I've been doing it, but also to learn, to grow, to learn. Because you have to learn how to record and things like that. So these last 2 years. When I first started releasing music in 21, that was just like the warm up. I started doing some music videos and stuff like that. That's just who I am. I wanted to express myself, but now I think the music that I'm starting to come out now, it's really who I am.
Gotcha.
Just because I rap because I can, but that's not me as an artist. Me as an artist, whatever the beat calls for, I'm doing it.
Right.
If it's country, I'm gonna do it. You know what I
mean? A new wave. Beyonce just made a country track.
Country is a new wave, man. Like all the record labels starting to sign all country guys, but ideally, man, I just want to be an artist. I want to be able to express myself, whether it's in front of the cameras or behind. I know I'm getting a little bit older, so finding a seat behind the camera is not. It's not bad in my eyes. It's something that I would like to do.
Right.
But man, so like I'm still making music. I'm still expressing myself a lot more creatively, and I'm really finding myself.
Cool.
I mean,
Cool.
get myself back.
I kind of want to. I've always wanted to ask this question, especially people who do art, who do music, or anything outside of the realm of sports in Europe, because I feel like sports teams, owners, coaches, whatever the case may be, when they have guys come onto their team, whether they be coaches or whether they be players, and those guys want to do things outside the realm of football, I feel like there's some weird like cloud over those guys that they don't that they have to stay in a certain type of light. They got to come over here because we paying you. You got to be a football player. You can't be other. Have you felt this way over the course of your time here?
Only with certain clubs.
Okay, just with certain clubs.
Certain clubs, like certain clubs, that's who they see you as, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. Everywhere I've been, though, they've supported that other side. So I can't say that I experienced it like that to the point where they was like, "Nah, don't do that." I don't think I experienced that, but like, but you have some teams like the Panthers, their club. It's a Class A organization.
Yeah.
They actually, like I shot I made a song for the team, and they actually aided in creating a video. You know what I mean? So
last season, the
in 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was pushing the G-Wagon. That was Tarshinsky's G-Wagon.
Word.
Yeah. Yeah, that was his joint. I was just pushing it like.
In Poland,
I'm Poland!
I can say in Poland, they've always encouraged like artistry outside of the game of sport. This sport, you know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of good artists here. The first thing I noticed when I came to Poland was that I seen the graffiti on the walls. I was like, these good ass artists.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You think differently when, if you never came here. So
that's cool.
Yeah, man.
So the whole kind of theme of this series is to extract the essence of oneself so that people can feel it, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone's not going to be able to sit across from you. Everyone's not going to be able to hang out with you or speak with you. But if they could take something away from you, what we all could take away from each other is our essence. And our essence, ultimately, in my opinion, is what inspires others. It's what empowers others. It's what motivates others. So my question for you is, now, what is your essence? Now, I know what it is for me, but what would it be for you to give to others?
I mean, I think for me, it's like what you see is what you get. I'm very transparent. And I'm nice. You know what I mean? And I'm nice until I'm not. It takes a lot to get me angry, right? So like I would say, what people can take from me is that I'm always intentionally walking the right path, right? So you can count on me for being who I am, being what nobody else is. You know what I mean? Like I'm truly rare, and I hate saying it, but bro, like for so many years, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I've been misunderstood. To the point where it's like, man, even daily in conversations, I know being misunderstood in the back of my head, so I try to tailor the conversation and give a little gem, so like it's not like that. But bro, it never gets there. So like I've been misunderstood, and I believe that that is just part of who I am. I felt that ever since a young child. So if anybody can get something from me, then they know that if you met me, then you can really say like that guy is genuine, and who I've met is that person right there. He's him. He's not pretending to be anyone else. All that, whether he's changing, projecting his voice differently or different crowds and mingling, that's all me. That's all me, because that's what I had to be in order to fit in with other people, because they didn't fit in my circle, or they didn't mesh with the things that interest me. right? You know what I'm saying? There's only a few guys out here that I rock with. You know what I mean? Based off of just because we rocked with the whether it's with spirituality, whether it's this knowledge of self,
Right.
going through all those different things. Like, not many people was on that wave, right? So when you do meet somebody like that, and you meet somebody like me, just keep them close, cause like I'm a very loyal friend, and and I get taken advantage of sometimes, but at the same time, when I notice that, I'm not gonna change who I am for that. I just move out the way. I just stay out the way of those people. Don't rock with them. Know what I rock with them on, and keep it moving, man.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, bro, you have to, at least for me, staying true to yourself is important, because if you're not gonna do it, then who is?
Authenticity.
Yeah, it's like
Staying authentic.
I gotta show it to somebody, so they know what it look like. We getting lost in this world where people don't even want to talk to you in face to face. They want to send a text message. You know what I mean? All this. I'm used to meeting my women face to face. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm way better like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can feel that. But over the internet, man, like, I'm just saying, like, nowadays people need more authentic to see more authentic representations, because there's a lot of fake out there. There's a lot of capping. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, it's a lot of capping on there, like filters from all this stuff. Nothing's real no more. Right? So that's what you're gonna get from me.
Right. The real.
You're gonna get a real human.
What's the next steps? What's the next steps for Meech?
The next step is following my plan, because just got the whole story. Going to college wasn't my plan. Didn't make it to the league. Wanted to make it to the league. That was my plan. Didn't go, so it wasn't my plan, right? I was just doing things that I thought I was supposed to do. So now I'm just following my plan, right? The things that I'm just doing, the things that I wanted to do when I was doing things for other people. So I'm being selfish right now. And I don't think it's a bad thing, because I gave a good part of my life to football, all right, and to other people, all right. And now it's time for me to focus on myself. So, like, that's the plan right there. That's what's next. It's me just doing me, and I know I'm gonna win that way, because I never won doing things the other people way. I thought that's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to follow that plan that somebody else had. But don't nobody, going back to, if somebody truly know me, they get it. But nobody ever know me. Nobody, man, like, amongst my circle, like, nobody understands me. You know what I'm saying? So I have a lot of friends, but I'm alone. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why I believe, like, if I just follow my plan, the things that I want to do, I'm gonna be good. So I'm not even worried.
When people talk about being misunderstood, I mean, where do you think that comes from, and how do you think it gets cured? You know what I'm saying? Like, is being misunderstood because you're in a certain environment that isn't conducive to what you're actually trying to do, or are people just not hip, or are you not expressing in the way that you should, so that people don't understand?
I mean, it's tricky, man, because, like, in spirituality, like, I would be considered like an old soul, right? So like, I believe the reason why I'm always misunderstood is because I'm vibing on a different level, a different frequency than other people. So we don't rock with each other. So, like, you're not even gonna give it a chance to understand, to comprehend me. You know what I mean? So I believe that how do we cure being misunderstood? I don't think there is a cure for it. I believe if you miss, I mean, yes, I believe that we can try, right? We can try. Maybe I can't explain it the way that needs to be explained for someone to understand it. I don't know, but just from my experience, nobody takes the time to understand, really understand. I think there's an understanding on the surface, but then the deeper understanding, that's what people don't get. They can get the understanding up here, right, on the surface, but the deeper understanding, I don't think. Just me personally, I don't. Unless you come from that, and that's who you are, then like I think it goes with that saying. It takes one to know one.
Right. I agree. And then I think maybe it takes time to get to know one if you're not one.
Right.
You know, because at a deeper level on the surface, you could get to know somebody. You can ask them trivial questions, blah blah blah. But to get to know somebody deep,
right,
it's not asking them 100 different questions. You know, it's feeling them. It's getting to know their essence, feel their essence, right? And I think that's really important as well. So I think all the time misunderstandings are going to happen, and the only way that you combat that is if you take a conscious effort to not understand somebody, but spend time with them or be open to receiving what they're given. You know what I'm saying?
And I think with understanding, it's not really just like you said, asking questions and then getting the answer. I think understanding comes with being around the person and seeing how they move. That's understanding, not what they say. It's more about the actions.
100%. Well, I really appreciate you, man, taking time out your day. This is new for me, but I really appreciate you, man. You've helped me along the way. Whenever I get a chance, I like to pay it forward and let people know who did it for me. For example, I got 2 guys out in Diost. I recruited 2 guys out in Diost, and they're asking me all these different questions and stuff like, how do you get to the next level? How's the league here in Hungary? Where can I go? And I'm always just like, this is how you do it, because from my perspective, guys like us are the ones that have like the real, true experience out here.
Yeah.
Playing at a high level in football, but also expanding themselves to be in commercials and movies and TV shows and acting and doing music or drawing and things like that. And it's like, what else would you be doing? Right? What else would you be doing back at home? Would you not be trying to expand yourself back at home?
I think not to this level, because like the difference between us and people back home is that we have ample time. We have all the time, right? All the time. Like things is not demanding. You don't have that much big obligations, but at least at the crib, you at least have 9-hour obligation every day. You know what I mean? So I think that's the main thing. You know, having that time.
That's a luxury. Yeah, for sure. You're not gonna get rich, but you'll be rich and wealthy in time.
Hey, look, if you're taking that time to do something that's going to help you progress,
you can flip it, yeah, for sure. Wow.
Yeah, I'm invested in stocks, and you know what I'm saying? I still got money in stocks. I just got some dividends the other day.
Oh, you got to cut a little check?
Yeah, so, man, it's cool, man.
Cool. Well, again, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
I know you out. Safe travels. And we'll see you definitely next time.
Another Dander production.